Hi friends, I'm Cheryl Harold. I'm one of the occupational therapists with the Racker Center. I'm making a video for you today about some coloring and grasp. So come on and we'll do a little demonstration. So for Dr. Seuss Week, one of the activities that was included is some coloring of a Dr. Seuss themed paper, and some of the tips that were given was how to encourage a tripod grasp with your preschooler as they're learning how to control the crayon as they color. Tripod grasp is use of the thumb and the first two fingers in a tripod, which is the three fingers. Sometimes kids lean onto the other ones for support. This is more like a typical pencil grasp or pen grasp that you would use as an adult. And when kids are developing the different hand grasps, a lot of times with longer writing tools, they like to do what we call a fisted grasp because their arm movement is coming more from their elbow and their forearm, and they're scribbling and learning and trying to have fun figuring out how to make the marks on the paper or on the chalkboard or whatever they're trying to color. Fisted grasp is pretty typical as they're starting out, and we want to encourage the tripod grasp as their hand grasp and the hand muscles mature. So in OT, we like to use a shortened utensil versus the longer ones, because the longer ones, it makes it easy for them to fist it. Similar to a marker, they can fist the marker and they're coloring all over the place. We want them to slow it down, do purposeful hand movements, and encourage that tripod. And one way you can do that at home is to use all those shortened broken crayons that you have at home that the kids have snapped because they're pushing so hard trying to make marks on the paper. Those typical crayons snap away, and this is a good use for you at home to hang on to those because it encourages the kids to have a shortened, a tripod grasp. We also like to use the Crayola Pipsqueak markers because they're the shorter markers, and these also encourage that tripod grasp as the kids are learning to develop it. Body position is important when your child's coloring. We like to lay on the floor on our belly in therapy and have some paper, a large piece of paper in front of us as we're laying on the floor, because they're getting in that prone position on their belly and they're putting pressure and weight onto their forearms, and they're working on hand movements and use of the wrist and then the rest of the hand muscles as they mature. So we like to be in prone. We also talk about sitting in the classroom or in the therapy room in a chair in a nice seated position. It's nice if their feet are touching the floor instead of dangling off in a larger chair, because they can then put some weight bear through their legs and use their core trunk muscles to be in a nice seated position and be as stable, because if they're all over the place, it's harder for them to color. So working on that body position. To increase the child's coloring stamina and lengthen the time that they're coloring, you can play stimulating music like some opera that's very stimulating, some current pop music, some R&B, something stimulating and jazzy. We put on CDs for the kids, play music in the therapy room. If it's busy and exciting, they tend to color longer. Likewise, if they're in a very excited state and you want to calm them down, you can play some calming music and darken the room a little bit and color at the table with stimulating music to try to lengthen it, or calm music to kind of bring them down. Another tip I have for you is you can take a piece of sandpaper and you can put it underneath their paper, and as they're coloring, the sandpaper marks give them some feedback to the tactile touch system, gives them a little feedback. I also like to take just ordinary cardboard that I've gotten some stuff shipped to me. I tear it apart, so we got the bumpy side, and then you got the bumpy side from here. You can take the piece of paper, put it over the bumpy corrugated cardboard, and as you can see, the kids love this because they get more touch feedback as they're coloring on the paper. They get the bumps from the cardboard. It's a nice inexpensive way that you can take a box that you have at home and peel it apart, and then you got a nice bumpy surface for them to color against, and the feedback that they get to their touch system, it might stimulate them and encourage them to color more and to stay on task longer. So thanks for joining me for Dr. Seuss's theme week. We all love Dr. Seuss in the preschool level. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you got some good tips that you can use at home with your preschoolers. Thanks a lot. Have a great day.